Getting an entry-level job in the current mining boom. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today I just want to do a quick video on how somebody new to the industry can get themselves a start in hard rock underground mining. So why hard rock underground mining? Well, if you have a look at this blog that I wrote a couple of weeks ago, this is really good advice that I got back in the day and that I give on to other people. You've got to go where employers have no choice but to hire new starters and give them what they want. And right now, that's in hard rock underground mining and exploration. So we're going to concentrate on hard rock underground with this video. And if we go over to the sponsors training page, the DIY Introduction to Underground Mining teaches you everything that the employer wants you to know about how their hard rock underground mine works. There's lots of jobs around. If you type underground into Seek, you'll see all the jobs come up and you can go through them yourselves there, which we encourage people to do once they finish the training. Or you can use this page that the employer's also got up in conjunction with the training that they do. So mining jobs to apply for once you've done the training, and they load them up every day. And once the links come down, the lines will go through it, so you know you can't apply for it anymore. But while it's still up and going, they're still looking for people. So if the ad's been up for 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes it's worth having another go at applying with them. So what does the training teach you? It teaches you everything that the employer wants you to know about the duties of miners, how the mine works from top to bottom. This teaches you everything that you need to know with that. Goes through scaling. It goes through what all the production jobs are and the professionals and construction and shutdown and all that sort of stuff. So it explains all that stuff to you, and then surviving the first 12 months on site as well. That's the basic mine site operation. This is nipper and other important duties. Again, cap lamp signals, refuge chambers. Teaches you everything that the employer has to get into a new starter in the first couple of weeks that they're on site. And this is one of the catches that we have to talk about. Unfortunately, if you go in green to one of these hard rock underground mining jobs, and you use the employer system, then it's more than a 50% chance that you'll fail. One of the reasons that this training got written back in the day was because the shift bosses that wrote it had enough of watching people fail over and over again because they didn't understand how the mine works. Makes it so much easier when you turn up on day one and you know what a jumbo is and you know what a bogger is and you know how the mining cycle works. And you only have to look at some of the feedback that we've got from the Wall of Fame page. Bryn, who got a job a couple of weeks ago, he wrote in, and you can read what he said in the text there, but basically he's really thankful that he was able to understand what was going on, and he really surprised his shift boss at the time by being able to communicate with him and understand what was being said to him. And that always goes down well, because when you get into one of these jobs, you're trying to find your feet as soon as you can, because how you make it in one of these jobs is being able to be left alone. It's not just enough to learn to drive the truck. The employers have to believe that you know enough to be able to leave you alone in the truck to get on with driving it. And that's where people fall down. And that's what's so good about the training, is because it allows you to know all that stuff before you go in. And then that allows you to just be freed up just to learn how to drive the truck. And you're not having to worry about what stench gas is and self-rescuers are and scaling and watering down and all the other things that they're going to try and wedge into your head when you're there in the first couple of weeks. If you've taken your time and studied in the course, then you'll already know that. And the other thing too is that it's amazing the reaction you get from the employers when you can actually talk about the job. And Mustafa is a great example of this one. And I've talked to him a couple of times since he's got the job, and the foreman basically turned around to him and said, "What do you know about nippering?" And because he did the training, he was able to have an in-depth conversation with the foreman about what was going to be his responsibilities for nippering. And that's, he's 100% convinced that that's what got him over the line. And it probably did, because when the employers find somebody that's already got this mining knowledge in their head and they've studied, then, it's a win for them. They've found somebody that they only need to put a little bit of practical into to have a productive member of crew. Whereas when they do it their way and they take people in green and you have to start with no knowledge and you work your way through there, it can take months for people to find their feet, and they do turn over a lot of people when you go in that way. Like I say to people, if you don't know what's going on in the morning meeting on day one, then it's going to be a real struggle for for you to find your feet quickly and make it. Whereas if you've done the intro to underground mining or one of the win-win or the work ready package, which uses all this online training as a basis, it's going to get you over the line. You're going to be able to understand what's going on from day one, and it's going to give you a position of power to apply for all these jobs. And there's lots of jobs out there. You just have to type underground into Seek to see them all come up. And I turn the atlas on, and this picture of Australia is loaded up with the copper, nickel, gold, lead, zinc. So basically everything that's going into the new electric vehicles or batteries to help them to make them. And that's where you can see how many mines around the country. And pretty much every hard rock underground mine in the country, just because of the lack of people, is having to hire new starters for the nipper, truck, offsider, and even paste and service crew jobs. So this is your best way into the industry at the moment in your current mining boom, is to educate yourself and start applying for these jobs. Lots of them around there all over the country. It's just about showing the employer that you know how their mine works and what's going to be expected of you on site. When you can do that, you're on a winner. So I hope you found that information helpful. If you've got any more questions, please let me know. And if you could like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.